They sent the message at the exact moment your spirit was weakest, not by accident, but by design, because darkness often waits for vulnerability, and Archangel Michael is here now to tear the veil from your eyes and show you that what seems like a simple message was carefully crafted to destabilize your peace, disrupt your healing, and detour your divine path. You've been asking God for clarity, for signs, for answers, and just when your heart begins to settle and you take the first real breath of recovery, a notification appears, tempting you to reopen a chapter that heaven already closed. This message wasn't just written by human fingers. It was spiritually infected, engineered in the shadows to pull you back into chains you've been praying to be freed from. And Archangel Michael is standing beside you this very moment, sword in hand, ready to defend you from a conversation that may seem harmless, but is spiritually poisonous. You are not crazy for feeling unsettled after reading it. You're not dramatic for sensing the chill that entered your chest the moment you saw their name appear. Your discernment is waking up, your spiritual radar is blaring. Because even your ancestors know that message was not sent to reconnect, but to confuse, manipulate, and delay what God is building in you. This is not just about words on a screen. It's about timing, energy, and intent. The enemy couldn't destroy you, so now it wants to distract you. Archangel Michael says do not reply. Not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to know that silence is power and peace is protection. This person or force that reached out has studied you, knows your soft spots, and has tried to re-enter through guilt, nostalgia, or false apology. But what they're really carrying is spiritual bait, an invitation to reopen spiritual doors that God Himself shut for your protection. Your intuition isn't lying. That sudden anxiety, that pounding in your chest, that wave of unease, it's your soul resisting the trap. Michael says you are being tested in the subtleties, in the quiet choices, in the invisible war between elevation and regression. You've come too far. You've cried too many tears. Heaven has invested too much in your healing to let a single message drag you back to what nearly broke you. The angels are not only watching, they're intervening. That sudden delay in replying, that hesitation in your spirit, that was divine interception. The silence you're being called to maintain is not rejection, it's protection. The closure you seek is not in the conversation. It's in your obedience to ignore it. Michael says your destiny is too sensitive right now, your blessings too close, and this message is a trap designed to reroute you before the breakthrough arrives. Listen closely. The enemy often speaks through familiar voices. That message may sound sweet, sincere, or even harmless, but beneath its surface lies the venom of sabotage, the intention of delay, the pull of spiritual regression. Heaven is asking you not to respond, not to punish them, but to preserve yourself. This is not about revenge, it's about resurrection. Archangel Michael is shielding your timeline. He is cutting cords you can't see, destroying attachments that look innocent but carry demonic frequency. If you reply, you'll feel drained. If you engage, you will lose momentum. But if you remain still, if you choose divine silence, you will feel something miraculous rise in your chest. Power, clarity, protection. The angels are whispering. This test is subtle, but the consequence is immense. God is trying to promote you, but He cannot elevate someone who keeps inviting devils into the sacred space He is trying to fill with miracles. You were warned because you are loved. You were delayed in responding because heaven interfered. Michael is holding your hand right now, urging you to block the energy, delete the message, and walk forward in quiet victory. Because if you pass this test, what's waiting on the other side will silence every apology you never received and bless you in front of the very ones who tried to delay your rise. There's a reason Archangel Michael didn't just whisper this message to your spirit. He commanded it, thundered it across the realm of heaven, because what you are up against is not casual, not surface level, not just a ghost from the past playing with your emotions, but a direct attempt to sabotage the progress that you have made through tears, through prayer, through long nights of spiritual warfare that nobody saw but God. And now that your light is visible in the spirit realm, now that your prayers are echoing with such strength that even the darkness flinches when you speak the name of Jesus, the enemy has resorted to a trick it used before: familiarity. This message may have come from someone you loved, someone you once trusted, someone who once held your heart in their hands, but they're no longer who they used to be, and the energy behind their words is not the kind that nurtures your spirit. It is a doorway to old chains, dressed up in apology, wearing the costume of closure, yet carrying the blueprint for a spiritual setback so deep that your angels are actively pleading with you to see it for what it is. This isn't about being mean. This isn't about bitterness. It's about clarity. It's about protecting the version of you that heaven is shaping from the ashes. You are rising, and not everyone who once walked with you is meant to witness the next version of you, because some of them only knew how to love the broken you, the dependent you, the confused you, and now that you are aligning with truth, their comfort in your chaos has nowhere to rest. Archangel Michael is not being dramatic when he warns you. He is being protective because he sees what you cannot. He hears the whispers behind their words, and what you feel in your gut is not paranoia. It is discernment sharpened by pain, polished by prayer. Do not underestimate how sacred your peace is right now. You have been rebalancing your emotions, realigning your life. And just when your hands started reaching for the next level, a distraction disguised as reconciliation arrives, trying to trigger a reply, trying to reel you in with the illusion of healing. But Michael says true healing is not dependent on them saying sorry. It's you realizing you no longer need their validation to close the door. That message, that text, that DM, it's not the key to your future. It's a test to see if you still want the thing that God already rescued you from. And if you reply, if you engage, if you open that door again, you're telling heaven that you trust your feelings more than his protection. Michael isn't angry with you. He's desperate to keep you safe because this exact moment, this very decision, is the fork in the road between old cycles and spiritual elevation. You can't keep praying for peace and entertaining people who bring chaos. You can't ask for miracles and hold on to conversations that carry curses. This is not small. This is spiritual. This is warfare in disguise. That message didn't arrive by coincidence. It arrived because your energy has shifted, your frequency has elevated, and the enemy wants to reattach cords that heaven just severed. Don't respond. Not because you're afraid, but because you are finally wise. You're not that desperate version of yourself anymore. And if you entertain that message now, you'll be communicating to your soul that the past still has power, but it doesn't. Not anymore. You fought too hard to go back. You've prayed too long to be fooled. Michael is standing guard. Angels are flanking your life, and your obedience in this moment will release a wave of favor that nothing will be able to block. Listen, you are on the edge of something sacred. Don't let a text steal the blessing God is about to deliver. Archangel Michael is standing over your timeline right now with his sword drawn, not in aggression, but in intercession, because he knows that one moment of weakness, one mistaken reply, one emotionally vulnerable response to that message can become the very doorway that lets back in everything heaven just cast out. You're not just protecting yourself from a message. You're protecting your lineage, your destiny, your calling, because what rides on your obedience in this season is not just your peace of mind. It's the generational blessing God is trying to release through you. And every delay you've endured, every closed door, every season where you felt forgotten was not punishment, it was preparation. You were hidden for a reason. You were delayed because the people around you weren't ready for the level of glory God was about to pour into your life. And now that you've passed tests you thought would destroy you, The enemy has sent this harmless message, this let's just talk message, this I was thinking of you message to lure your soul into a realm of confusion. But confusion is not your portion anymore. You are no longer the version of yourself who needed answers from broken people. You are not the version of yourself who begged for closure from the very hands that bruised your spirit. You are not the one who looks back anymore. Archangel Michael says this trap was set in motion days ago in the spirit. He saw the manipulation brewing before it ever reached your phone. He heard the enemy whispering lies to the messenger, convincing them to reappear at the precise moment your breakthrough was about to unfold. Because the enemy doesn't attack you when you're broken, he attacks you when you're close to healing. And you're close now. So close. That's why this feels personal. That's why the message felt timed, eerie, almost like it knew what to say to make your heart ache. But it's not love, it's surveillance. It's not kindness. It's a hook baited with your old wounds, hoping to reopen what God stitched back together with holy thread. Michael needs you to understand that if you reply, if you emotionally engage, you are spiritually volunteering to revisit every sleepless night, every tear-stained pillow, every mental spiral that God pulled you from. And this time, the cost will be higher, because now you know better. Now you've seen the pattern. Now heaven has educated your soul. Your discernment has matured, and your silence has become your sword. You are not being cold. You are being obedient. You are not being rude. You are being wise. You are not ghosting someone. You are protecting your soul from a haunting. That message carries an energy that's trying to rebind you. Michael says it again, don't answer it. Not out of fear, but out of power. You are in control now. Your healing gave you new spiritual authority, and your no is a prayer that heaven will honor. Listen to your body. Did your stomach tighten when you read it? Did your peace shrink when their name popped up? That's not coincidence. That's your angels screaming without words. You're not alone in this. Your ancestors are watching. Your spirit team is surrounding you. And Michael is sending reinforcements to hold you up in this moment. Don't go backward. Don't even crack the door open. The person sending that message may not even know they're being used, but spiritually, they're being puppeted by energies that remember how vulnerable you used to be. But you're no longer broken. You are becoming. And this test isn't about who they are. It's about who you've become. Replying to that message may feel like taking control, but real control is in restraint. Real strength is in walking away without needing to explain. God has already written your closure. You don't need theirs. You don't need the apology that's attached to manipulation. You don't need the conversation that comes wrapped in false comfort. You need peace. You need purpose. You need the path that's already unfolding before you. And every time you honor that path, you are telling heaven, I am ready now, ready to receive, ready to grow, ready to walk in the blessings that cannot coexist with old energy. And Archangel Michael is standing beside you, shield raised, watching you pass the test that confirms your spiritual graduation. You've come too far to turn back now. Archangel Michael is now surrounding you with legions of angels. Not because you're in danger, but because what's ahead of you is too valuable to lose, too sacred to risk, too divinely tailored to be corrupted by the very energy that once drained you dry. And this moment right now, this hesitation you feel, this divine discomfort pressing against your spirit, is not anxiety. It is discernment awakening inside you like fire from heaven. And you need to know this. The message wasn't just a test of your emotions. It was a spiritual checkpoint designed to measure the weight of your growth, to see if you could walk past what once paralyzed you, if you could resist the urge to explain yourself to someone whose soul was never built to understand your anointing. And heaven has been watching you since the moment that notification lit up your screen, holding its breath not in fear, but in hope. Hope that you would finally choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose the future God has been building. In silence behind the scenes while you were busy crying over closed doors, and rehearsing imaginary conversations in your mind with people who were never meant to stay. And now you stand on the brink of your own resurrection, where the version of you who waited for closure is finally dying, and the version of you who walks in power, who knows their worth, who understands their divine calling, is stepping into the light. And you cannot take that message with you into this new era. Michael says the enemy sent it knowing you are about to be upgraded. That message came like a whisper from your past, just as heaven was preparing to scream your name into every room your name needs to be heard. Do you understand? The timing is not coincidence. It is spiritual strategy. The very moment you started praying again with faith that sounded like thunder, the very moment you began waking up with purpose even though you were still tired, the very moment you began speaking life over yourself instead of waiting for someone else to validate your existence. That's the exact moment darkness tried to dress itself in familiarity and enter your soul disguised as a second chance. But it's not a second chance. It's a spiritual ambush. Archangel Michael says they are watching you not just with eyes, but with intentions. They want to study your peace, assess your light, measure your progress, and drag you back into the emotional prison that kept you chained to confusion for far too long. This is not about romance, closure, friendship, or forgiveness. It's about access. The enemy does not need your heart. He only needs your attention. If he can distract your mind, he can delay your miracle. If he can get you to respond, even with one innocent message, even with one emotional curiosity, then the seed of chaos can be planted in soil you've worked so hard to cleanse. Do not respond. Do not even explain. Silence is your sword now. Obedience is your armor. Your discernment is your defense. And God is whispering this. If you pass this test, I will give you something so holy, so breathtaking, so long prayed for that you'll look back and thank me for every unanswered message, for every blocked number, for every divine delay that felt like rejection. Your blessing is so close that heaven is already celebrating. Angels are already arranging divine appointments, setting up miracles, preparing the people who will love you rightly, honor you fully, and walk with you in sacred alignment. And this trap is nothing but a final attempt to keep you tethered to the trauma God already healed. Michael says you don't need to fight anymore. You don't need to debate, argue, or plead. The battle is over. Your part now is to walk forward without turning around. Even if it hurts, even if you miss them, even if you love them, you are not the same soul who cried over their silence. You are not the same vessel who searched for God in someone else's chaos. You are healed now. You are whole now. You are protected. And the spiritual inheritance God is about to unlock will not be shared with people who only loved the broken version of you. Your future requires people who love your healed self, who respect your boundaries, who honor your silence, and who would never put your soul in danger with their words. Michael says you've already passed the test by seeking confirmation. And now he gives it to you loud and clear. Do not reply. This is not just a message. This is a portal. If you open it, everything you shut down comes rushing back. But if you ignore it, if you delete it, if you break the soul tie for good this time, then heaven is ready to replace what you lost with something that will not require pain to feel real. You're not being asked to suffer. You're being called into the kind of peace that doesn't demand a war to justify your growth. The angels have already written your next chapter in fire. And every delay, every silence, every unanswered message was part of heaven's divine plot to protect you from what your heart wanted so badly, but your soul could not survive. So let go. Say nothing. Walk forward and watch what God does next. Because what's coming, what's truly coming, is going to be so beautiful that you'll understand why hell had to try one last time. You've already won. Keep walking and don't look back.